Hey everyone, Jason Evans. I'm a mortgage loan officer at Rate. My NMLS number is 21205. All right, today I want to talk about refinancing. How do you know when the right time is to refinance and what are the right reasons to refinance? These are all questions that a lot of homeowners are constantly wondering and trying to figure out. So I wanted to try to help clear this up for you and give you a clear idea on when to do this. So the most common reasons we see for people wanting to refinance, definitely number one is to save money. They want lower mortgage payments. Who wouldn't, right? So that's just simply a function of what are the current rates compared to the rate you have on your existing loan. When rates come down because the market shifts, you can refinance, pay off your old loan, take out a new loan at the lower rate. The monthly payment gets recalculated based on your new loan balance and your new rate, and you pay less interest, you pay less payments over time, and you save money. So to be able to figure out when to refinance to save money, you really need to understand your current rate and your current principal and interest payment, and then decide how much money do you want to save a month. Once you know what your target monthly savings is, you can figure out what rate you need to be able to accomplish that. And then connect with a loan officer like myself, and we'll keep an eye on rates for you and reach out to you when the rate hits that level that you're targeting so that you know when the right time is to refinance and you can take advantage of any opportunity. As we've learned recently, sometimes when there's a chance to refinance, it doesn't last very long. Sometimes it's a day or less, and then the market will shift. You know, there could be a quick drop in rates and then a quick bounce back up. The good thing is once you start your application and lock in a rate, you're protected. Now your rate is secured. No matter what happens, if the rates shoot up a full percent, it doesn't matter. You can get your application processed and closed with that rate that you locked in. So the important thing is to know what rate makes sense for you and to take action when it's available to lock it in so you're protected, because it might not last very long. And now you have years and years of savings because you took action when there was that small window of opportunity. So number one, definitely monthly savings. This can be accomplished by lowering your rate. It could also be accomplished by lowering or eliminating PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. So when you bought your home or when you last got your mortgage, if you have less than 20% equity, you probably have PMI as part of your monthly payment. With home values increasing so quickly, there's a good chance that you now no longer need PMI. Or maybe if you still need it, you have more equity than when you bought, so the PMI is going to be reduced from what you're currently paying. So another area you could potentially save is on the mortgage insurance you're paying. So again, we can go over those numbers up front and let you know what the numbers look like. Another reason we see a lot of people refinancing is to get cash. Like I just mentioned, home prices have never been higher and people have more equity in their home now than they ever have. And the equity is a great source of getting cash to do other things with it. So maybe you want to pay off other debt, maybe you want to do renovations to your home, or it can be for anything. If you have any need for money, getting cash out as part of the refinance is something that can make a refinance worth it for you as well. So with this, you can generally, with most programs, borrow up to 80% of your current home's value. That loan gets used to pay off your existing mortgage, and then the remaining cash can be used for whatever you need to use it for. So that's another reason we're seeing a lot of people refinance right now, is because they have some type of need for cash and they want to tap into their home equity to get access to it. Another reason we see people refinancing is to shorten their loan term. Maybe they started off with a 30-year loan, they've had it for a few years, and now they want to do a 15-year loan. Maybe their financial situation has changed, they're making more money and they can afford to do a shorter loan term. The benefit of doing a shorter loan term is normally you get a lower interest rate on any given day than if you have a 30-year loan. So a 15-year loan a lot of times is about 1% lower for the rate of interest that you're paying than a 30-year loan on that same day. So by shortening your term, you're paying the loan off much more quickly, you're paying less interest, and you're really paying down that balance a lot faster. So that's another key reason we see people refinancing. The fourth main reason is because they either have an adjustable rate loan and they want to switch it to a fixed rate, or maybe they have a fixed rate and they want to switch to an adjustable rate because it could be for a number of reasons, but mostly it's because they know they're going to be selling the home before that rate ever adjusts and they don't need to have a fixed rate anymore. The benefit to an adjustable rate loan is same thing with the shorter term fixed rates, is it's typically a lower interest rate that you're paying than if you had a 30-year fix. So it's a way to save on your monthly payments for the time that you do have the loan. And again, most people taking out the adjustable rate loans have the intention of getting rid of the home and paying off the mortgage before the rate ever adjusts. So those are all common reasons we're seeing people refinance. And as far as deciding when to do it, really the most time sensitive thing is rates. And if you know what your target rate is and what your target monthly savings are, you can act on it quickly when it becomes available. Again, the key is to get that rate locked in because the market could shift the next day or even later that same day. Now, what does the process look like to refinance? In the most simple terms, what you're doing is you're getting a new mortgage to pay off your old mortgage. Now, the terms are different, obviously, and maybe you're getting cash, you're not getting cash, but to get that processed, my team and I, we close refinances on average in just 9 days. So it's not a long drawn out process. We'll tell you up front what you need. Usually it's getting an updated pay stub, updated bank account statements, a W-2 from the prior year. If you're self-employed, we'll need to see your last tax return that you filed with the IRS. Sometimes we need a new appraisal, sometimes we don't. We'll let you know that up front. But the key thing is we're very clear on what we need. You can download the Rate app and handle the entire process right through your phone if you'd like. Or you can do it through our website, emails. There's a lot of different options, but the key is once you get the documents in our hands, my underwriters will review it all within a day, let you know if it looks good, if there's anything else we need, and we get all that straightened out in the first few days with you. Then, once we're scheduling the closing, we'll have an attorney come right out to your home. Attorney, if you're here in Massachusetts, an attorney has to handle the closing. They'll meet you at your house to sign final paperwork. We also have a hybrid loan closing process where about half of the paperwork you need to sign for closing, you can do electronically on your phone the day of the closing, which greatly cuts down on the amount of time you need to spend with the attorney doing things in person. So a lot of people close the in-person portion of their closing in like 10 or 15 minutes because there's a lot less they need to sign because they already did a lot of it electronically earlier that morning, the day of closing. So the process should take no longer than 2 weeks. If you're trying to get quotes on rates and the market's changing and you don't know what's going on, it's important that you get a hold of someone and they get back to you, right? If it takes a day for someone to get back to you, the rates could be 0.5% different than if they'd gotten back to you when you reached out initially. So it's important you're reaching out to someone like myself who's going to respond quickly, who's going to get your paperwork processed quickly and get the whole process done in a couple weeks. There's no reason you should be waiting days and days to hear back from someone about a question you have or about what the rates are or how to lock in a rate. This should all be done within minutes. That way you can take advantage of opportunities before the market changes and be done with it before your next monthly mortgage payments even due. So I'd love to talk to you about refinance options. The key thing that's helpful for me to have up front would be a recent mortgage statement. That'll give me all the details about your current loan so I can do a comparison for you. And even if the rates aren't currently in the right spot for you to refinance, or for whatever reason your value is not where it needs to be, or whatever the circumstances are, if today is not the right day for you to do the refi, I'll set a game plan in place for you so that you know when the right time is and we can keep an eye on it and act quickly when that opportunity arises. So it's all about having a plan, knowing your numbers and understanding the process. And with my 20 years of experience in the mortgage industry now and closing over 5,000 loans for my clients, I have the expertise and the knowledge to help guide you through the process and make sure you understand your numbers upfront.